Special Forces?
The weak do not belong. So you're going to get a crash course of what it's like to be in our reality.
You will pretend.
Besties! Kody Brown is getting absolutely roasted online, and I have been waiting for this moment in time when Kody would finally be placed in a position where he would actually have to prove that he's the tough guy that he thinks he is. We've watched this man for years pretend like he's a big shot and bully women and children because he was the god of his family, right? And then we watched how he threw everyone out to the trash when he found a woman 11 years younger than him with $30,000 in debt, 3 kids, and he decided he was going to divorce his first wife, marry the new replacement wife, and adopt the kids and then run off into the sunset, right? So like we have been waiting for him to have like that comeuppance where we would get his smackdown. And we also knew from the jump that Kody didn't really give a crap about the family because all he cared about was fame. And let's be clear here, he's going on to this brand new reality show, Special Forces, and they released this brand new clip. And in the clip, Kody are boxing. And if you know anything about Kody, he thinks he's an athlete. He played football in high school and he was a wrestler and he went to state in Wyoming, although he went to a super small school. So I don't know how big the pool was or how great of a wrestler he actually was. Like his son, Hunter, was a state wrestler. He won state, and Hunter went to a humongous school in Las Vegas. Kody went to a tiny school in Wyoming and won state. So I think, maybe in the little school division he won state. I don't know. But he's never been able to get over the fact that he's like a super champion athlete. And so now at like 58 years old or 7 years old, he's going on this show with a bunch of 30-year-olds that are professional athletes, right? And you've got him going up against, it's super hard to tell who he's actually boxing, but whoever he's boxing is quite a bit taller than him, much more broad in their chest and in their back, and looks to be putting down some serious whooping on Kody. And Kody, who is not the tallest guy in the world, maybe Kody barely hitting 5'8" on a good day. I mean, I don't know. He always says he's 5'10", but I don't believe him. He had to stand on his tippy toes at Isabel's graduation, y'all. So a brand new clip was released by Fox, and it's Kody getting smacked down. And I was like, this is amazing, right? Absolutely amazing, because only Kody would go on a show at 57 to prove himself that he's the world's toughest, right? He's a special force. Only Kody would go on a show and pretend to be like he's in the armed forces when his own sons, who are in the armed forces, he ignores, right? He's got 2 sons that are serving in the military that he doesn't even talk to. But Kody has to prove that he's apparently better than his sons. And so this clip comes out, right? And I was wondering what the response would be to Kody on his Instagram. And I wanted to look through some of the comments, and my goodness, did they not disappoint. I think most people were, most people's reaction have been like, Kody has spent all of these years acting like he can't be away from his kids with Robyn because Robyn's kids will have a heart attack and a panic attack, and if they can't see their dad for 2 days. And, that's great, but you entered a polygamous family, Robyn. And so people were like shocked that he would 1, leave his kids, but 2, leave Robyn, because he's convinced that like every man in the universe wants Robyn, and that's why he has to be with her all the time. So I wanted to check out the comments to see what people had to say, and if they were supportive. Right now, he says he's so excited to see this from a third perspective. Right now, it seems like it was a dream. And this is what some of the comments said. This is a guy who had 99-degree temperature and said he almost died from COVID, right? That was hysterical. That's not even going to the hospital temperature. Take a fever reducer. It will go away. Actually, it was not even a temperature at all. Ask any medical expert. Okay. So remember, Kody had a hysterical fit about getting COVID and he thought it was like a death-like experience. Someone else wrote, the fact that he did this show goes to prove that all he cared about was fame and a paycheck from the jump. I mean, right? Someone else wrote, Kotex, you cannot redeem yourself from your ridiculous preferential treatment of Sabin. No matter what you do, you are over. Another, don't get your pencil wet. Also, literally, no one will try to hit on Robyn while you're gone. Her eyebrows are her protection. Another one, But what about your injured kidney? Lord, I hope you didn't last long. I wouldn't be watching until you're booted off the show. Someone else, they said the weak can't be on the show, so why did they pick you? Another person points out the obvious. Couldn't go to his daughter's surgery because he couldn't leave the tenders, but yet goes to his friend's wedding and goes on a reality show. You don't deserve to have children, especially ones from Janelle, Mary, and Christine. David, more of a father than you will ever be. Another, so your kidney is healed. Too bad you couldn't have gotten away from your daughter's spine surgery, but you couldn't be away from your kids for this. Wow. Another one, you will potentially die. You have young children that won't come of age until you're 70. What were you thinking? Another, surprised you were able to leave the tenders, but I guess when Robin needs money, you will leave them. Too bad you couldn't for your daughter's spinal surgery. Also curious to see how the guy who couldn't sleep in an RV for a few nights a week does on a show like this. Someone else pointed out that this is not real military training. This is nothing like Special Forces military training reality. It is an entertainment show where contracts are signed, a paycheck is given, and the wannabe dried up reality star are protected so they don't get hurt, not even a broken fingernail. They're taking no chances at death or getting injured. It would be a lawsuit. Remember Alec Baldwin? They might potentially die from a heart attack from being chicken shit who can't handle stunts, but no, from a military mom, this does not resemble reality at all. None of these idiots could handle what our men and women go through to become soldiers. It sounds like a nail-biting dramatic TV show, but it should be listed as a comedy. You know, I have often wondered what people that are in the military think of shows like this. Like, did they find it offensive that they have made entertainment out of training for the special forces and make a mockery of the special forces by having reality stars go on a show and go through training that pretends to be special forces? Because there's absolutely in no world this is special forces training. There's just not. It's not even comparable, right? Like this is a widely produced show and it has it has a set. I mean, it's a set for crying out loud. It might be filmed in the wild, but it's a set that has controlled environment that has medical professionals there. You really think this is even equivalent? Another person wrote, I can't believe this is real. I guess eyebrows wanted more money. You have to know a lot of people can't stand you and watch how you failed your family. This will only bring more people to feel the same. And then someone else wrote, I hope you didn't try to use your son's death to redeem your image because that would be really low, even for you. Those are on his own post. That's on Kody's Instagram. Okay. A man that has 185,000 followers while his ex-wives have over 1 million. All three of his ex-wives have over 1 million followers each. And yet Kody himself has 185,000 followers. He's the biggest loser in the terms of social media clout. And I don't know if that's a segue into, if you haven't watched the Netflix documentary on The Biggest Loser, I watched that over last night and over the last 2 nights. And that's an interesting view into what it was like to be on the show and kind of the fallout from it. I know it's been a while since that show has been on the air, but it's apparently been doing really well on Netflix. It was a interesting view into the world of The Biggest Loser. And I guess Jillian Michaels is really mad about it, of course. So obviously Kody is not getting love on social media, and he's definitely not getting love from the cast. And the post that he put on his Instagram, it has only 623 likes and 141 comments. Not to say that it's a competition, but if Kody and the wives were to compete, that's a really big loss. So, I think what Kody's trying to do is he's lost his identity. He's past his midlife and he has been in a very prolonged midlife crisis, I think. And not to say that someone that's 57 can't do something like this, because that would be ageism. But the fact that Kody, who was known for being a fundamentalist polygamist that really shunned the outside world and felt like he was better than everyone and lived in a bubble for all of his life, now after 15 years of reality television, wants to parlay the breakdown of his family so that he can move on to other reality television. And I think of it in this context. If he really cared about his family and about what his mission was with the show, why then would he be going on to other reality television shows, right? And it's kind of like what that person said in the comments. It feels like all this was about fame anyway. And it was. I mean, Cody really does think he's the bee's knees. And I think it is all about fame and money and being able to maintain his lifestyle. Because when Sister Wives goes away, he will lose a steady paycheck that he's had for the last 15 years. And he didn't save his money. I mean, he might have a big house now where it's, a $2 million home, but he also has a massive mortgage. He might have sold his Coyote Pass property and gotten a big payday from that, but that doesn't mean he actually has the money left over, because this is a guy that when he gets money, he spends it as fast as he makes it. And he also has a wife that's a compulsive shopper. So really, when you go on television for a reason to show the world that you're not like other people, that was why he became famous, right? We're going to prove to everyone we're not like Warren Jeffs. And then now you're going to parlay that into, well, now I'm just going to be a reality TV star, not just Kody Brown from Sister Wives. It just kind of makes it all feel more like it was a fraud from day one, you know? Like, I'm not here to be a ethical, moral elite, but I've never liked this idea that Cody was famous to begin with. And the only silver lining with this show is that Yucker might knock him out and lay him out on the floor and he might get a bloody nose, right? And he might get put in his place by people that don't want to put up with his BS. And he's going to be around people that grew up in the real world and didn't live in a tiny bubble where, everyone worshiped them like Cody. I don't know, man. Not even his own fans are excited about this. And the comments are not in his favor. And I mean, even more so, like when he first announced it, this comment is how I will end with this video. This post asks if we want to see you cry. We wanted to see you cry when Isabel was suffering. We wanted to see you cry when your sons begged for your acknowledgement. We wanted to see you cry when Gabe sobbed about you forgetting his birthday, although you spoke with him that day, but as normal, it was all about you. We wanted to see you cry because you weren't there for the son that desperately needed you. We wanted to see you cry with remorse for all the pain and suffering you've caused your wives and children. We wanted to see you cry in true regret for the agony your actions brought to others. We don't want to see him cry because he's on a show getting beat up. It doesn't even feel that exciting. Most of us already knew that if Cody ever went head to head with a man that was bigger than him and it wasn't on one of his shows where he gets to control the camera people and he gets to control and dictate, what gets put on the show, because he's the crybaby that, if you don't look like the tough guy, you don't get to be on it doesn't get to be edited or put on the show. And in this case, we know that if he goes head to head with men that are bigger than him, that have training as professional athletes, that are fighters, he is not going to win. He's going to get laid out. He is going to look like a fool. But that really doesn't change what he did to his family. It doesn't really change anything because he's not really getting his from the people that should be giving him his. Is this how the world wants to see Cody? Is he really this out of touch? I think so. And even more so, it just speaks to a wider culture of that we live in, where people that are bad people, that are not good people, that have harmed people, that are abusive people, get awarded with fame and accolades because they create drama and ratings for networks. And their personal lives and their abusive behavior and their illegal actions don't matter, because actually that all brings more ratings to television. It's like I've become more conservative in my old age, but it just seems wrong that we live in a society that glorifies criminals and then awards them with television shows after their shows blow up. And Cody's never been charged with a crime, but he's the first one to tell you that he's a felon because he lived in polygamy for all those years. He's the first one to tell you that he's a criminal in the eyes of the law. And now the criminal in the eyes of the law gets awarded with another show. So what are your thoughts? Are you happy to see him get obliterated, or are you just annoyed? Tell me in the comments below. Make sure to give this video a thumbs up. Make sure to subscribe to my channel if you haven't subscribed, and click the bell so you never miss a video. Thanks so much for watching. Bye, besties.